I am a little upset with myself that in the past year I've gained a lot of weight. I've gone from 165 to 180, and it's because the last year I just sit around and eat. I don't work anymore. I need to start exercising again. I mean, it's my fault I gained the weight. When caregiving for a loved one, you tend to sit around a lot. And that inactivity in the last year has caused me to put on some pounds. It's my fault. There's nobody to blame but myself. I mean, I'm not going to go into my bathroom and put a sledgehammer to my scale because I put on weight.
I'm tired of you stealing my life. I'm tired of you making me feel if I'm good or bad. I'm tired of you deciding how my day is. No more of you deciding my life. No more of you stealing life from me. This is it. I take back my life.
So anyway, I'm fat. I'm not obese, I'm just fat. People don't realize there is a difference between fat and obese. No, really, most people don't mind a little meat on the bone. I'm like that. As long as you can fit comfortably in an ordinary chair or the springs in my car don't bottom out because you're riding in the back seat. And as long as one or two other people can fit into my back seat along with you, and there's still room for a small dog.
Use your stomach muscles. You just have to pull yourself out.
Jesus.
Hey!
Yeah, let's go look at trucks.
I'm here today to talk to you about a very powerful little word, one that people will do almost anything to avoid becoming. I'm not sure if any of you have noticed, but I'm fat.
No, honey, you're obese. A fat person can at least see their shoes.
Let's not sugarcoat it. I am the capital F-A-T kind of fat.
Actually, you give a bad name to fat people. I would not be surprised if they charged you for extra ink on that tattoo.
I am the elephant in the room. When I walked out on stage, some of you may have been thinking, oh, this is going to be hilarious, because everybody knows that fat people are funny.
No, there's nothing funny about you. This is funny.
1, 2, 3.
And this is funny.
He's pulling on the fence. He bit the fence. Keep going. You can do it. Oh my God. That's how a fat guy gets over the fence.
Even this is funny. But the only thing funny about you is that silly tattoo.
Or you may have been thinking, where does she get her confidence from? Because a confident fat woman is almost unthinkable. These judgments are insidious. They can be directed at individuals and groups, and they can also be directed at ourselves. And this way of thinking is known as fat phobia.
Everything is a phobia with these social justice dimwits. It has nothing to do with fear, and everything to do with stereotyping. Most fat people are funny. You, on the other hand, are not funny. Everybody's stereotyped in one way or another. Deal with it or lose weight. And if you lost weight, that would lessen the burden of the cost of health care caused by people like you. Heart disease, diabetes, it's a similar argument people have with smoking. Your obesity is one of the many reasons for the high cost of health care. As with the smoker, society is basically paying the price for your lack of discipline.
Like any form of systematic oppression, fat phobia is deeply rooted in complex structures like capitalism, patriarchy, and racism.
They always find ways to drag capitalism through the mud, which kind of flies in the face of this.
I'm a plus-size model. I am willing and motivated to wake up every day to keep these curves.
She's a plus-size model. She makes money being obese. There is a market for plus-size clothing. This woman is motivated to keep her curves because she gets paid for it by companies as Elaine Bryant. Maybe such companies should be taxed for the high cost of health care because they want people to be obese because they make money off it. What else did she like in fat phobia too? Oh yeah, racism. No matter what the subject, they always end up circling the wagons around racism.
Me, it's almost like reverting back to the civil rights movement. Now we're telling fat folks that they have to buy an extra seat. Not too long ago, my grandparents had to sit on the back of a bus. It's almost like segregating folks based on the way they look.
I can't imagine. Did you really say that?
Calm down. Don't act like you're offended by KKK.
Wonder no more, if you did, what this subject is doing on The Stupid Show. This has nothing to do with racism and your grandmother having to sit in the back of the bus 50 plus years ago. It has everything to do with capitalism. Again, why should a company like Greyhound or Amtrak or American Airline have to lose money because of your lack of discipline? If you have to take up 2 seats on a bus or train or plane, that's one less seat they can sell to another person. They have every right to charge you for a second seat the other half of your fat ass is taking up. Shut the fuck up about racism. I have $50 in my bank. I would gladly give it to any of you social justice dimwits who can go an entire discussion or debate without bringing up racism on a subject that has absolutely nothing to do with racism. And I'm willing to bet another $50 that other $50 is staying in my bank account. Because racism, Nazism, and phobias are the go-to for social justice dimwits when they are losing the argument. And they're always losing the argument. Either that, or you just outright lie. As with Joy Reid. Yeah, there's a girl with some meat on the bones. As well fat on the lies. Joy Reid has given us no choice but to give her placement on The Stupid Show, lying about her old blog being hacked and her posts being manipulated to make it look like she said disparaging remarks about the LGBT community. She wasn't too kind on Muslims either. And rather than own up to it, she lied. That wasn't until the FBI started looking into it. Then she did some backpedaling. As she stated, I have spent a lot of time trying to make sense of these posts. I hired cybersecurity experts to see if somebody had manipulated my words or my former blog. And the reality is, they have not been able to prove it. Sounds like she had an out-of-body experience. Really, the devil made her do it. And I wouldn't be too worried about your job, Joy. I mean, hell, they still have Brian Williams around. Maybe you and him can do a show together and call it Unreliable Sources. I recall late last year, another fat bastard, Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, was faced with the same situation, an old blog where he posted some disparaging remarks, and surprisingly, he showed more integrity than Joy Reid. Then again, a cockroach has more integrity than Joy Reid. Unbelievable. Anyway, enough of that. Time now for the portion of The Stupid Show which we call Why Is This News? And we have a couple of stories that fit into that category this time around. The first one is from Ben Hooper at UPI.com. Police officer covered in mud from wrestling escaped pig. I sense a little irony in this one. Police in Ontario said officers wrestled with a runaway pig near a busy road before calling in backup from a livestock transporter. South Simcoe police said The pig was spotted Tuesday morning wandering along the 10th Side Road in Innisfil, and officers responded to attempt to corral the loose porker. Oh, God. Police said they were concerned the pig posed a danger to drivers. You could say the same for police. The problem is when people try to avoid these animals, that can be just as tragic. Same can be said for police. Trying to swerve around a 200-pound pig as it can be running into a 200-pound pig. South Simcoe Police Sergeant Todd Fiera told CTV News. Constable Jerry Crane ended up covered in mud as he attempted to wrestle the pig into the back of a patrol vehicle. Oh, boy. Discipline, Dominic. Discipline. We tried getting her in the back of a car, but she was having nothing to do with that. I can honestly say I underestimated the power of a pig, Crane said. Some tend to do that with police as well. Livestock transporter John Hodson was summoned to help load the pig into a trailer. I wonder if he asked which one. So much for discipline. A lot of police wouldn't even get close to it. Most say the same about police. But they were able to get a rope on it. We just had little short ropes, so everybody had to be right there, Hodgson said. Kyle Gray, the pig's owner, said he will be keeping the animal named Quasimodo at a neighbor's farm until his pig pen fence is repaired. No pigs or police officers were injured during this lengthy, unique apprehension. Police said simply the only thing lost was dignity. And a little closer to home, depending on where your home is, Texas man sentenced to 50 years for $1.2 million theft of fajitas. Associated Press, Brownsville, Texas. A Texas man has been sentenced to 50 years in prison for stealing $1.2 million worth of fajitas over 9 years. 53-year-old Gilberto Escamilla was sentenced Friday after pleading guilty to theft by a public servant. The Brownsville Herald reports he told the court the fajita scheme spun out of control, to put it mildly. Escamilla had been intercepting fajitas that he ordered through the Cameron County Juvenile Center, where he worked, and delivering them to his own customers. Clever scheme, it just spun out of control. Talk about cooking the books. His scam was uncovered when he missed work for a medical appointment, and an 800-pound, 360-kilogram fajita delivery arrived at the center, which doesn't serve fajitas. Yeah, that's a dead giveaway. I can't even begin to wrap my head around what $1.2 million in fajitas would look like. Then again, everything is bigger in Texas. I once had intercourse with a girl. I say once because I asked her what part of Texas she's from. Hell, you could have gotten a truckload of fajitas into her and still have room for a runaway pig. Oh, God. Couldn't help myself. Anyway, thanks for stopping by and for tuning in. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until we talk again, I want you all to be well and enjoy life.